Today, I have the huge honor of speaking with a woman whose work not only changes lives, but touches hearts. Melanie Burrier, LifePlus Foundation president, dedicates herself to bringing hope, dignity, and love to people who need it most. This conversation isn't just meant to inform, it's meant to make us feel what is possible when people come together with compassion. Melanie, thank you so much for sharing your time with us here. And my first question would be, what is the deepest reason behind why you do what you do for the LifePlus Foundation?
Mm. Well, first, thank you for inviting me here today to be with you and everyone watching. It's my pleasure. Uh, wow. I think the most important thing for any human being is to have a real um, full opportunity for a full life. And in order to have that full life, some of the basics that are human rights really should be available to everyone, and that's food, clean water, and education. Without these, I think it really limits people and their hope and their opportunities. And so I'm passionate about helping communities anywhere on the planet have greater access to these three things. Uh, and that's really the mission of the Life Plus Foundation. And when we talk about what's important, I think, you have to start with these fundamental human rights, and everything stems from them: good health, more opportunity, and just the dignity that comes with having those three things. I think this is what I'm passionate about, helping people have greater access to.
And your personal touch point with how you got to be in that role you're in as the president of the foundation. What?
Well, I don't know how much you want me to go into this, but I came to the Life Plus Foundation. I was a secondary educator. I was a high school teacher. And I've had a heart for kids, and especially at-risk kids. The entire time I was teaching, I was very much involved in my community, helping people that were at risk or in special need of, of basic things to feel um, secure and safe. And so I come from a history of uh, concern for people. And I found myself, gosh, I guess it was the summer of 2011. I was in a conversation with Robert Christian, and we were in Sonthofen in Germany, and it was a Life Plus event, and we had broken for lunch, had a little break for lunch. And I was talking to him, and the Life Plus Foundation came up, and he said, "We have this entity, right? It's this charitable entity, but there's really no vision. There's no real direction, and there's no one at the wheel driving it." And that conversation stayed with me. I went back home, and I loved teaching. I loved the kids. But I had come to a point in my life, in my teaching career, where I had kind of taken it as far as I could take it in that area. And I was looking at that point for an opportunity to help more people. And that, I don't believe in coincidences. So I feel like that conversation with Robert came right at the time that it was supposed to. And from that, I called Robert back and I said, I really would love the opportunity to see how far we can go with the Life Plus Foundation. And that was the beginning of the what you have seen the foundation, how it's grown in the last 14 years. That's where it started with me 14 years ago. And that was something that was born out of that conversation in Sonthofen with Robert. And yeah, it's I feel like we're just beginning, but it's been a beautiful journey that I see continuing for a very long time.
And our team right now, we are funding that sent them in Kenya, but you are doing really worldwide projects and fundraisers. And I know also around Batesville, where LifePlus, like where the origin of LifePlus is from, but really around the world. That's how we got in contact with when Valencia was in need. You were immediately stepping in and helping, which I loved. Being close to that catastrophe, it was very touching for me to experience the immediate help you brought into. Um, which projects are right now at your center? Like, what's the most needed in the world?
Mm. Well, we have a lot of engagement with the water projects, as you know. But food and education are easily as needed. Right now, we are in the greatest food crisis in our lifetime. 350 million people right now are either starving or have no food security, and it's gotten worse since the pandemic. I think we lost probably 10% of our gains that we have made in the last 10 years in terms of food security. So malnutrition is a big, big issue. And one of the biggest needs, one of the countries that has the biggest need right now is South Sudan. I mean, so much globally, we can look anywhere and find the opportunity to help people get nutritious food. But South Sudan is particularly hurting right now. It's an arid country. It's war torn. There's so many starving people. And last year, the LifePlus Foundation funded a building. It's a 2-room nutritional building where we are screening adults and children for malnutrition. We're working with on-ground partners who are actually reaching out to people in the area and helping them with food services. And I believe there's about 21,000 children that have been screened in that facility. So we really feel like we're making an impact in an area that's really desolate. In fact, the larger building, not the building that we funded, but the larger building on the property was vacated by another nonprofit organization because it was so desolate and so remote that they literally picked up and left. And we have to have this mentality when it comes to poverty that we can't leave when things get really tough. And so we were happy to support our on-ground partners in such a place as this area. It's the Hybor region of South Sudan. You can probably Google that and find all kinds of information on just how bad things are right now there. So happy to be doing that.
Thank you so much for sharing. It's I was impressed at first. I was only really aware of Life Plus by itself, loving the products, loving to support my health of my family, sharing with my friends. Then I always loved our team, and then step by step, and with that close uh, flood that hit Valencia, I really understood the work of the Life Plus Foundation. So also what I was really impressed with, that all of that extra work you were doing with the foundation in South Sudan, in Kenya, in wherever it is in the world, 100% of the money we donate really gets where it should be going, which is so, I mean, it's really amazing. I know that Robert Christian especially makes sure to care for all the extra expenses. Do you want to share a little bit more about the background for this? Because these are questions I get frequently asked. People really
Sure.
want to know where the money is going, and I'm already so deep into like just believing and knowing. But I know you can answer some questions more in depth because you're super used to answering these
Yeah,
questions.
I mean, it's very simple. The truth is that Robert has decided that Life Plus will underwrite or pay for every operating cost of the Life Plus Foundation. So everything that it doesn't matter what it is. It could be administrative costs. It could be legal costs. Uh, every single thing that it takes to run the foundation. It's the creative team. It's the marketing. It's the wow, you name it. Travel expenses. Uh, yeah, it's amazing that Life Plus is underwriting all of this because it's very rare. And in my experience, and I come across a lot of other nonprofits, and I even have a lot of communication with other charitable arms of corporations, like the Life Plus Foundation is to Life Plus. And I think only one other organization that I know has this situation. And that speaks directly to the heart of Robert and the founders of Life Plus, that it's that important that every euro, every dollar, every donation, whether it's big or small, that comes in the door, 100% goes to serve people in need. And um, it's really that simple. It's just a principle that uh, Robert and the leaders at Life Plus share, and at the Life Plus Foundation, we all share this desire to help people live better, healthier lives, not just on the Life Plus side, but on the Life Plus Foundation side. So it's very congruent. It's very much in line. And that's a message that I try to get out to people. And when I'm teaching at LPU or when I'm at events, that really Life Plus and Life Plus Foundation are very closely aligned because the overarching idea is to help people have fuller, healthier lives with better outcomes and the chance to thrive. So,
Mhm.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it's a special thing, and it's really something that I'm amazed at. Yeah,
And it really is something very rare. So, talking with many people now for our fundraiser is what I come across a lot. People are very concerned of who is Life Plus Foundation and is that really possible? And then I'm really proud to be saying, yes, these values are exactly what, like, I experience it exactly like you're saying. It's really every person, may it be Robert Christian, you as Melanie Burrier, Malcolm Vincent, Antoine Kemmerer, everyone with whom I have personal, like the privilege also to be in contact with you, is just so humbling and just so true, and it's not only our vitamins that make us thrive, but it's what we bring to the people. Even when I'm just saying a nice word to my neighbor, and of course, is something that my brother asked. Why do we fund now something in Kenya? Why don't you do something at home? And I tell him, of course, we do things at home, at our own home, here in Valencia, in Austria, around the world. But with Life Plus Foundation, I find it such an easy way, especially now in Christmas time, that every euro counts. Like, may it be 10 euros contributing to something bigger.
right.
And now maybe you want to share if we finance or make it possible until Christmas 2025, that's our big goal, to fund a sand dam. Can you explain what will happen, how many lives will be changed, and a little bit about that project?
Yeah. Well, you've decided to fund the biggest impact project that we offer, and it can it can bring water to up to 10,000 people. And this is generational, okay? This isn't just for a few years or, 10, 20, 25 years. When a sand dam is cared for and it's properly constructed, it can last 100 years or more. And when we were in Kenya last time, we were talking to our on-ground partners who are saying now the way that they're engineering these sand dams and the communities are building them, they're saying now up to 200 years, which is unbelievable. Um, what happens with a sand dam in a semi-arid area is that because it captures the water, so you have this dam across a dry riverbed, okay? And semi-arid means that the country gets a certain amount of rain. It comes in a rainy season, but it comes very hard and very fast. And because the majority of the year the ground is dry, there's no way for that water to be captured safely. It just runs off. It tends to run off, and it can actually be quite damaging. So a sand dam captures that water, holds it underneath, it stops it, and then what happens is as it rains, the water rises, and the sand, the soot that is, so I don't want to get too deep into this, but essentially all of that runoff goes over it basically stops, and the water, it creates a filter. So the sand continues, some of it goes over, some of it stays, and the water rises, and that sand acts as a natural filtration system. It creates this greater water table rise in the area. And when you have these sand dams that are all the way down this dry riverbed, you get green and lush ground all around the sand dam. And this creates better crops. When we go down there, we see all of these, crops that are beautiful. They're flourishing. It wouldn't be this way if it were not for the sand dam. So the economy gets better. The health of the people gets much better. There's no need to walk miles. So children and women can stay in school. They can work on getting educated, getting skill development. It's so far-reaching when you bring water to a community, and particularly a sand dam, because it impacts thousands of lives. I think this is why people are so drawn to funding the sand dam, because the impact is so great and for such a long time.
So just to share for everyone, once again, I reached out to you and I wanted to especially support women and kids, and I had no idea in what I was doing. And then you came back telling me, of course, it's always women and kids involved, but we want the whole family to be healthy. And this was kind of an epiphany for me, because I was like, of course, I don't know why I only wanted to support women, but knowing that especially girls, also boys, they have to walk for 8 miles or even longer with 20 liters of water. And then the water they catch is not filtered, is not clean at all. So
No.
they get water that's dirty. And for us, this is something unimaginably. And then there are different projects that you fund. For example, now in Valencia, you did, like, LifePlus Foundation funded something totally else. But in Kenya, there is either a well that brings the water freshly into a village, or the fresh water for schools, which is amazing because then the kids are healthy. They learn how to clean their hands and hygienic rules, which I also love.
Yeah.
And the send them especially touched all of our hearts. Everyone who is listening was very much into funding a big project because people in Kenya get they learn how to build a sendem. They could even duplicate this. Is that true, or is it just like something I made up in my mind?
Yeah, no, well, what's so nice is, and this is just a core value of the LifePlus Foundation, every program that we fund must have a self-help component. So one of the big values of the foundation is that we only want to do for people what they can't do for themselves. We don't want to overdo, right? This isn't going to help with long-term sustainability. So self-help is really important. And you're right. There's a lot of teaching, not just with the water projects, with pretty much all of our programs. One that comes to mind is we're helping in South America right now. We're helping farmers with soil regeneration, and what they're doing is we're working with our on-ground partners there in Ecuador and Peru, and they're teaching local farmers how to, they're teaching them unique farming practices and water conservation and how you can enrich the soil and get greater yield and great nutrition out of the food sources. And so what's happening is these farmers are then going out in the area, in the local area, and they're teaching each other. Same with the children at the schools. They're learning sanitation and hygiene practices. They're learning how to make soap. They're learning how to care for their bodies. And this is particularly important with girls, especially around puberty, because a lot of times they don't come to school anymore when they hit a certain age. And so they're going home and they're teaching their families what they're learning at school. And so this is important because that's how greater change and greater impact happens. So yeah, it's true, and that's one of the beautiful byproducts of the self-help programs is that they get organically taught to more and more people.
Yes. And thinking of the people whose lives you've touched, is there one story that stayed within your heart that you
Oh,
want to share?
there's so many. That's a really tough question. I can think of one that really touched me when we were in Kenya this past January and February. And I'll try to get through it without getting too emotional. So we go every year to Kenya, and it's really such a beautiful experience to be able to see the impact we're making, and a lot of the donors, such as your team, gets a chance to go and really look into the eyes of the people and hear from their own personal account what has changed since getting clean water. And I had a mother with a little beautiful baby girl come up to me, and she couldn't have been more than maybe 20 years old, 20, 21 years old, maybe. And she, through her tears, she said, "Thank you, because now my baby has a chance." And she showed me her little girl, and then she said to me, "Last year I lost my son because we didn't have clean water." Sorry.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, and I think this is the beauty. It's such a hard thing to hear, um, but
it's
it's an everyday occurrence. I mean, 1 in 5 children under 5 they die of waterborne diseases in sub-Saharan Africa.
Still, yeah,
And so, this is,
it's too
yeah,
many.
this is why we do what we do.
And it's the reason why I am so proud of all of us helping together, because it's something I want to teach my children and my boys. They really know that I'm like doing all that funding thing, and that like what Life Plus is about, and they understand what Life Plus Foundation is doing. And it's not only all our future, their future, but of course we can help sometimes with these easy ways of giving a little. And because we are many, a little
Yeah,
counts so much to.
it does. And when everyone shares that mindset that it's a small amount to give, um, enough people that do that, that's where big impact is really made. You know, it can be roundups on a Life Plus order. It can be just a small amount every month, or, but this adds up, and this is what really makes a great impact. It's about it's not a it's it's a personal thing to give. Everyone has that choice, and how people want to give, of course, that's a personal choice. Um, I think I would really, though, love for people to know just how great the impact. I mean, the majority of our impact as a foundation has come through small donations, small regular donations, and it doesn't hurt, us financially. It just helps so much. And I'm reminded when I go to Kenya every year, um, and the donors get a chance to talk to the communities. And when you finish your water project, you'll have the same opportunity. And usually we're sitting, us on one side and the community on the other, and they speak to us, and then we have a chance to speak to them. And what that does is it closes this gap, because they see us so differently. They see us as being the haves and them as being the have-nots, if you know what I mean, the people that don't have. But when we come together like that, and they hear how the money was raised, it was a little bit at a time, and it was maybe the children might be involved, or they see that it happened over time and with effort and with heart, and this gap just closes, because really we're all just people, trying to survive in a broken world.
Yeah.
So
What's also beautiful for us now
beautiful.
in our team is we all do different things. Whoever wants to bring in, like we have astrological quickies that are like quickly done and bring in a lot of new focus for everyone in everyone's lives. I do breathwork sessions, and we have a beautiful advent calendar with one window with like truly beautiful things every day, something very special. And we have so many ideas, and it's a lot of fun also for us as a team to talk about all these topics. Thank you so much for sharing all that deep insight now from your side, because I know you really see and feel all of these changes in the lives every single day. I'm constantly listening to the podcast you did with Antoine Kemmerer, because in that podcast you actually share so much information, and listening in, it brings, like, it sparks that light again and again in me to like not lose focus, because I have the feeling our lives are so busy and something is always going on. We forget how easy it can be to hold each other and care for each other. And sometimes it's as little as making that click to donate.
Yeah.
Right. So I have a wonderful question. I'm super curious what you will say. What is your dream for the next 10 years for the Life Plus Foundation and the people you serve?
Oh, I I could think of several probably things that, that I could answer with, but I really want to see more. We will always have a presence in the most impoverished countries. But even in 2026, I'm looking at how can we help more people in the developed world, in the countries like that you live in and I live in. There's still need everywhere. And so, we, well, Valencia is a perfect example, but we've been supporting the German food bank now for 7 years. And this is really something, just one example, but there's so many elderly people now that are in need in places like Germany and other European countries. And with the state of the world right now, I think that it's important that we're expanding our vision for what need looks like. And again, certainly want to always keep in the forefront of our mind the most impoverished areas, but that shouldn't be in exclusion to where we can also do some really great good in Europe, South America, some of the more developed countries in South America, some of, obviously North America, uh, because there's need everywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And not just water, food, education, and overall well-being. I mean, that's the umbrella of the LifePlus Foundation. I think of this as the umbrella, this overall well-being. And then under that umbrella is water, food, and education. And yeah,
I
everyone on the planet deserves a fair chance at a good life and a healthy life and hope for a bright future. And this is our goal, this is our aim, and this is our vision.
Yeah. Nicely put. I have some more questions, but I think you just made a really good closing part. Every human has a right to all of these things, and I personally know one family who was they lost their house in Ahrtal in Germany, where Life Plus also stepped in immediately and changed so many lives directly in Germany. So it is really happening everywhere. I'm very grateful. All our team. Is there something else we want to like get out of Melanie? I'm super thankful that you took the time and the love sharing all of the insights. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Keep doing it. We will be always supporting you. And
Thank you.
I,
Thank you. And I just want to say, it's a privilege to be working with people like you that have a heart and that actually put feet and hands together and take action. Um, I think this is how we work together. So we're all in this mission together, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you what you're doing as a team. And I look forward to being here to help you how I can and support you in your goals in helping people.
thank you so much.
Thank you.